before this commission come forth and you shall be heard. Please silence your cell phones and refrain from making any noises in the meeting room. May God bless the United States, the state of Tennessee, and DeKalb County.
Okay, the invocation tonight's going to be done by Bill Roberts. You can speak up a little bit.
Well, let's pray together, okay? Our Father, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for, as Patrick has already mentioned, being able to live in the United States and in DeKalb County, Tennessee. And to be able to meet like this occasionally for the purpose of taking care of the affairs of our county and seeing to the needs. We ask tonight for your guidance, your direction. We ask for a harmony of spirit and ask God that you would lead and direct in a way that would not only benefit our county but also be a blessing to the people that live here. We come before you tonight asking these favors because you've said that we can ask anything in the name of the Lord Jesus and you'll hear us. And we ask that tonight. We pray that you'll bless this time in Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay, Tony, lead us in the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, would you call roll?
Tom Chandler.
Here.
Tony Luna. Here. Larry Green.
Here.
Beth Pappert.
Here.
Myron Rhodey.
Here.
Greg Matthews.
Here.
Andy Pack.
Here.
Matthias Anderson.
Here.
Glenn Merriman.
Here.
Brandon Donnell.
Here.
Daniel Cripps.
Here.
Jeff Barnes.
Here.
Sabrina Furler.
Here.
Tony Colwell.
Here.
14 present.
Public comments. If anybody would like to make a comment to the commission, step forward.
Dennis Butler.
Say your name, your address, you reside in, they'll give you 3 minutes.
Dennis Butler, District 5, Highland Trail, and I'm a Riverwatch Homeowner Association owner. And I want to address the commission tonight based off the article that come out in WJLE this week. And after speaking with my commissioners last night, I felt the need that it was probably good for me to come up here and inform the other commissioners of the inaccuracies that they wasn't aware of, that the others need to be aware of before they make their vote tonight. First of all, it come out a win-win for DeKalb County. Well, apparently it's not a win-win, or we're not part of the County one, because it's definitely not a win for us. We don't want the trash, we don't want the traffic, the debris, everything coming down our residential road, right past our homes. Another thing is, it was stated that Riverwatch Homeowners Association was all for this and was for it. That couldn't be further from the truth. I have not found one person yet in our development or in our homeowners association that has been contacted, asked their opinion. None of our board members, and I'm very close to most of the board members there, so I would know if I've talked to every one of them. None of them have been contacted or had a conversation with anybody. So if there has been one, I'd like to know. So during the discussion tonight, if my commissioners would like to ask who did you talk to? We want to know. There's also some text message floating around that maybe Kevin Sevilla with Corps of Engineers has also talked to the Riverwatch property owners. At 2:51 today, I had a conversation with Kevin Sevilla, and he has not spoken with anybody. He did say he's heard word of mouth that there was some people that might be interested in a marina going in down there at the end of our road. But you know where word of mouth gets you. it usually follows right back to the same mouth that it came out of originally. Now, a lot of times when I watch these meetings at home, sometimes I put myself in your seats during some of these situations. And I put myself in your seat in this situation. And I had to ask myself, is this the perfect timing to bring in something else to the county? With us having residents mad over a jail on Smith Road, we got residents mad over a quarry on Smyrna Ready Mix.
Sir, your time expired.
Thank you. But it's all lies, and I want you to know before you vote.
Okay, state your name, address, or the district you reside in. I'll give you 3 minutes.
Doug Walter, I'm in Myron and Sabrina's district. I think it's 2. I'm here tonight to address SRM's repeated violations at the quarry, lack of required permits and licenses. Business application for the County Powers Act was sent by the county attorney to SRM in January of this year, 2025, 7 months before receiving a less than complete application from SRM. 3 times the state has ceased their operations for operating without required permits, even required the removal of their equipment. You cannot be considering a grandfather clause if a company that has not obtained all the required permits and is operating illegally to be grandfathered under the County Powers Act. SRM violated Tennessee Department of Environmental Conservation, or TDEC, water discharge standards and permit requirements. Their permit wasn't accepted by the state until 6 weeks after the County Powers Act, December 5th, 2024. And their permit, their water or TDEC permit, was not issued until June 25th of this year, 2025. And the TDEC permit does not supersede state or county other laws. SRM is currently in violation of Tennessee Department of Transportation. The state representative informed Mr. Cantrell that SRM erected a sign noting their blasting procedures. The sign was on state property, must be moved. Also, they did not have permission to use the driveway to enter the State Highway 70. They currently have applied, but don't have that permit also. Regarding their business application, this body and the county attorney, like I said, sent their application in January, 7 months till received it back. The letter to SRM noted, you plan to open, therefore I consider the county was not considering they were in operation at that time and cannot be continued or considered for a grandfather clause. Supreme Court of Tennessee ruling is due out any time regarding the use of the act, the County Powers Act, in Grundy County versus Tinsley, which was an application for quarry. The case is very similar to our situation. SRM's submission of an application appears to be an attempt to get ahead of the ruling, obtain a business license from DeKalb County. In the event the Supreme Court finds for Grundy County, not Tinsley, their application, in my opinion, should be denied or put on hold until the ruling is handed down by the Supreme Court, which is one thing that's been discussed here. The Grundy County case is important because it will set the precedent for the enforcement of our county's act. SRM also noted in their application that on August 7th, 2024, they received a Mine Safety Health Administration permit. On August 18th, a 2024, an air quality permit, yet it fails to mention the 2 important permits, the TDEC permit and the TDOT permit. They don't even mention it in their application. Why? Because they did not receive these permits until way after the County Powers Act, and don't even have a TDOT permit.
Sir, your time has expired.
So I'd encourage you guys to do the right thing like I've been asking.
Okay, state your name, address, or the district you reside in. I'll give you 3 minutes.
My name is Barbara Vute, and I'm in District 4. I just have a few follow-up comments to Mr. Walter's remarks. If you accept SRM's application as is, you're giving them the right to operate and negate any opportunity to enforce the act in the future. As per SRM's cover letter, their application was submitted under protest, and that additional requirements by DeKalb County are unnecessary and legally objectionable. And they claim that its operations are lawful and properly permitted under local, state, and federal laws. However, as Mr. Walter has just stated, they still do not have all required permits. In summary, you can deny this permit because the TDOT and TDIC permits were not included in the application. Or, if lawful, pen their application until the Supreme Court decision is handed down regarding the act for Grundy County. While our focus tonight is on SRM, the act currently affects 3 organizations: SRM, Jones Brothers, and Crypto. This is a key moment for our mayor and this council to enforce the rule of law for this county. Industry is coming this way, and we must be prepared to defend our county from unlawful, unwanted, and potentially dangerous outside interests that do not have the best interests of our citizens at heart. I'm asking you to work collectively as you've been elected to do and enforce the laws of our county. If you don't enforce the act, you are setting precedent for others to move in, violating permitting, licensing requirements, and impacting the citizens of this county. Thank you.
State your name, address, or the district you reside in, and I'll give you 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Chad Jennings. I live in the 5th District of Riverwatch. I'm the Riverwatch HOA president. I'm here today along with my neighbors and fellow HOA members to voice my concerns regarding the proposed marina. First of all, I, nor did any of my neighbors, know anything about this marina until reading the article on WJLE. I have not spoken to Tony Luna nor anyone else regarding the marina. Serious concerns regarding the proposed marina project at the end of our subdivision. While development and growth can bring opportunities, this particular plan raises several risks that would directly and negatively affect the safety and well-being of our community. The traffic congestion, the subdivision will not design and accommodate the volume of traffic a marina would generate. Increased vehicle and boat traffic would bottleneck on our narrow residential roads, raising the risk of accidents and reducing safe access for residents, pedestrians, and emergency vehicles. Public safety and crime, marinas often attract outside visitors, some of whom may bring issues such as loitering, drug activity, and theft. Introducing this kind of traffic into our quiet residential subdivision compromises the safety and security of our families. Fire and emergency hazard, the marina introduces heightened fire risk, fuel storage, boats with combustible engines, electrical connections to docks. Our subdivisions is not currently equipped with the specialized emergency access and infrastructure that would be required to handle such quickly and safely. An impact on residential character, this subdivision was designed as a safe and family-oriented neighborhood. A commercial-scale marina would alter the character of the community, replacing peace and security, noise, late-night activity, increased policing needs. For these reasons, I strongly urge the committee to reject this marina project. While recreational opportunities are valuable, they must not come at the cost of residents' safety, neighborhood, and integrity of the neighborhood. Thank you.
State your name, address, or the district you reside in, and I'll give you 3 minutes.
My name is William Freddie Curtis. I am the county historian, and I live at 288 Dogwood Circle, and that is in the 4th District. I'm also the chairman of the DeKalb County Historical Society. The vision of the mission of the DeKalb County Historical Society is to preserve the history of DeKalb County. And our vision, and that literally is preserving our DeKalb County, Tennessee history for our future. The vision of the organization includes the DeKalb County History Center as a vision for the people of DeKalb and the citizens of DeKalb County, where the county's historical artifacts can be shared with the public. We also are involved in digital preservation of historic documents from the county, explored the possibility of additional historic districts to be formed in DeKalb County, have an outreach to youth and schools, oral history project, telling the story of DeKalb County and advocating for historic preservation. I had been diligently working on a grant this past, literally the past month and a half, only to have the grant receiving a text today telling me to hold off. What I was going to order was 25 display cases that could be used here anywhere in the complex to curate DeKalb County history, particularly in the hall where the new election commission office, and down that hall where the trustee's office and the register of deeds office is at. So what we'd like to do, and what I wanted to do, and working diligently on as an intern for the Center for Historic Preservation at Middle Tennessee State University, which I'm wearing their shirt tonight, and part of that was needing to have your permission to do this grant, which is due at midnight tonight. And now that I am needing certain documents and was told I would not get those documents, that I could send in to the state. So being told that I will now not be getting 25 cases or trying to get 25 cases from the state of Tennessee, and that is from the Tennessee State Museum, in which we would be utilizing and competing for that grant. Now that grant will probably will go to someplace else besides us. So I wanted to apply for that grant, but then told, well, you need to hold off and do that. But that was 25 new cases. We have some cases marked at the Old Tennessee State Museum that we are still in line for, but I don't know how many of those that we'll actually receive. So what I'm asking you to do, we've got 2 more grant opportunities coming up in September. One is a programming grant, which I'd like to partner with the Chamber of Commerce to do. And then there is another one that is called a project grant. So perhaps we could get a few cases, not as many as in the capital grant, but at least do that. So I'm asking your permission tonight, and if you would vote for us to have that opportunity to apply for these grants. These are not matching grants. There's no matching grant whatsoever.
Sir, your time is up.
So I appreciate your opportunity and thank you for your time and attention.
Three minutes.
Okay. Lucas Antoniak, District 2, Snows Hill. Last month, this commission voted to send SRM a second cease and desist letter. From my point of view, during that meeting, County Attorney Hilton Conger lied by omission and did not clarify during the meeting that a first cease and desist was never sent. It was only in a follow-up article by WJLE that Conger clarified his negligence. Yet even last month, request for a cease and desist letter was not followed through, and last week SRM finally filed for a local permit for the quarry, and the county mayor has only a day or so left to respond and has not yet. He must. The county's mayor's job is to enforce the laws and implement the decisions passed by this commission, and the county's attorney's job is to advise, not decide. The vote last month was clear. The arguments we heard in last week's commission workshop was that SRM was already in legal operation before the act was passed, but evidence clearly shows otherwise. The county mayor himself said in April to WJLE he could not enforce the County Powers Act yet because the quarry was not in operation at that time. And by Conger's own words, as of January this year, the quarry was not open and in operation. To quote his letter sent to SRM on January 16th, which was not a cease and desist, "Gentlemen, it has come to my attention that you have plans to open a rock quarry in DeKalb County, Tennessee. So why is Hilton changing the song now and arguing that on SRM's behalf that they have been open and in legal operation well before the County Powers Act was passed? As witnessed by myself and neighbors, SRM was already drilling and had trucks on their property days before the property sale closed and blasting commenced on July 31st, 2024. And in the ensuing months, SRM was shut down for illegal operation by the state several times. Furthermore, SRM didn't even file for their water permit until more than a month after the County Powers Act was passed, and only finally filed for a driveway permit recently. Debate at last week's workshop also considered that the property was previously used as a quarry during the highway's construction, and that might complicate matters for enforcement of the County Powers Act. By this logic, decades ago, the property where my house sits used to be the location of a bar, so does that mean that I should be grandfathered in for a beer permit without consideration of our laws today? I don't think so. Let this be a warning to everyone that failure by the county mayor to enforce the County Powers Act can and will open the county to lawsuits on several fronts from citizens and those affected by the inaction of those present tonight. In closing, who does this commission really serve? Who voted you in? Was it the disreputable company with a profound history of lying, negligence, and pollution throughout Tennessee in order to line their own pockets? Or was it the citizens of DeKalb County who have dedicated their lives here and for decades and generations and who have loudly made their voices known? Ask yourself again, who do you serve? Please do your job and enforce the County Powers Act and immediately before it's too late.
Y'all please quieten down. Okay, state your name, address, and the district you reside in.
Yeah, my name is Kerry Watson. 1891 Old Highway 53, and share about 1,500 feet of fence line with the Jones Brothers property, the first property they've got. They bought under different names, and we all know about that. We all know about the whole situation. SRM does kind of what they want to. Mike Hollinshead used to work for me years ago, okay, but he doesn't pay any attention to rules and regulations anymore. They're down there working today. Nobody can prove it. I've been told that when they put in their applications for permits, I was told that it would go to the commission. Now I'm being told that it goes to the mayor and he makes the ultimate decision. From there, I talked to the mayor personally on the telephone back in November, and at that time he already had his mind made up that they were to be grandfathered in, SRM and Jones Brothers, which, you know, call your bookie and see what kind of odds you get on this decision that's got to be made this week and next week on both of these. So we'll see what happens. And as far as the concern, we all know the health concerns, we know everything. I've got 3 young grandsons that live on this property, and we're from the center of where they're going to do it. If you look at the map, we're less than 2,000 feet away. We're going to be eating all that dust, getting all the explosion vibrations, this, that, and everything, destroying our property values as well as a lot of other people around here. Nobody seems to be too concerned about that. When you get down to it, is with the health issues is another thing. All of a sudden, instead of having one rock quarry within 1 mile to 6 miles, 3 miles in either direction, if you, as the crow flies, you're going to have 3 quarries that are basically emitting all this dust and everything, and I don't care what the EPA says, it's not healthy. They're not going to get it cleaned up, and it's all going to be settling in on DeKalb West, where my kids go to school and a lot of other kids go to school. And nobody, like I said, nobody really seems to care. But, and as far as waiting on the ruling for the Grundy County case, we don't have time to nobody has time to wait on that now. You've got to make a decision one way or the other. Whichever way the Supreme Court rules on that really doesn't make any difference, because a decision has to be made now as far as that. It's just a bad situation. It's going to cost a lot of people a lot of money, cost people their health, probably cost people lives, will not create jobs. All the employees will come in from the other locations of Jones Brothers, Mount Juliet, as well as other areas. And Smyrna is basically everywhere. Mike's got people all over the country now, pretty much. It's not going to create any jobs. I doubt if 1 or 2 people between these 2 companies that live in DeKalb County will end up with a job from it. Thank you very much.
Okay, state your name, address, or the district you reside in.
My name is Matthew Antoniak. I reside in the 1st District, and tonight I have a statement from my father, who resides in the 2nd District, who is not able to be here tonight. Our County Powers Act is clear. The grandfather clause only applies to businesses in existence and in operation on October 28, 2024. It makes no exclusions for companies which haven't yet obtained all required permits, or began operations illegally, or seek to open where similar work was done long ago. As we have repeatedly brought to the attention of this body, SRM did not obtain all required permits prior to the passage of the County Powers Act. In fact, the state shut them down repeatedly for operating illegally without the required water discharge permit, and they had not applied for the required TDOT permit for accessing the highway. So SRM is being very selective when citing what permits they had while ignoring those that they did not have in time to qualify under the grandfather clause. An ID number is not a license to operate, by the way. And state law holds a permit application should be judged by laws that are in effect when it is submitted. This commission passed the County Powers Act October 28th with full understanding that a company not legally in operation on that day is subject to its terms. Both the SRM and Jones Brothers quarries, as well as the crypto data mine, are well within the 5,000 feet of area residences. That defines them as a nuisance under our County Powers Act. They are all subject to our law. Perhaps what's really going on is a push for a rush to judgment by companies that are worried the state Supreme Court could soon rule for Grundy County and uphold the County Powers Act. So, Mayor and Commissioners, do you stand behind the law that you passed to protect the citizens who put you in office, who built this community, and who have invested their lives here? Or is local government more aligned with the interests of the few corporate outsiders here to exploit our county and its resources? Failure to enforce the County Powers Act by decision or by default would set a dangerous precedent with significant legal liability. If you put the interests of businesses before residents, I ask you why. And if you're not willing to uphold and enforce the laws you passed, it's time to step aside. Thank you.
State your name, the address, or the district you reside in. I'll give you 3 minutes.
My name is Tom Rowland. I'm in District 7. And first, I'd like to thank the 2 commissioners last week that had a little fortitude to speak out against the funding in the budget. Thank you, Ms. Paffer and Mr. Rohde. It is appreciated by us. A couple things I wanted to touch on. The first off is the permitting with SRM. I understand from last month's meeting that it's been punted to the mayor for him to make the decision, but I would encourage you as a body to weigh in with a resolution, go on record and say, yes, you're for it, or no, you're against it. Let the people know where you stand. As far as the jail and the property involved with that, I guess the statement hasn't changed. Y'all have not made your case to the people as to why it needs to be this, and it needs to be at this expense, located here, etc. I understand something needs to be done, but the case has not been made clearly as to why and how. We, the people, have spoke very clearly on the soapbox in these meetings. We have spoke very clearly at the ballot box. We don't want it like it is. I understand some changes have been made, but we, the people, are pissed. Y'all have not made the case on something controversial. A town hall meeting, stand up and say, okay, this is what we want to do, this is why, this is how. I get it, sometimes things ain't popular, things need to be done, but there's always options. I worked in government compliance for a long time. Several companies I worked for went self-insured rather than putting up with government stuff. There's options, maybe that's not the one, but y'all have not made the case other than, yeah, we need to do something. But doing something and doing something correctly are 2 different things. I said, we the people are pissed. We've had enough. And the comments that were made where we're buying this land for future expansion, what the heck are you going to do with it in the future? How much is that going to cost us? Future expansion? How much property do we need? How much property do we have that's just sitting? Underutilized? I'm sure there's things that could be done. Make your case. Tell us, we're adults. But find me anybody in here who thinks any of this stuff going on is a good idea. One person, there's not in that county, on the commission, one person in the public that says, shit hot, you guys are doing good. We like what you're doing. We don't. We the people have had enough. Thank you.
Someone else?
My name's Jerry Billings. I live at 935 Billings Road, District 5, the road going into the Dublin ramp where they're considered putting in a marina. But I learned of this today, you know, and they just try to spring stuff on you and bring it in here and slip it by. And I just don't think that's proper. You know, they ought to at least advertise it a little, you know, to give people a chance. And there's not enough people here for the Riverwatch area over in there. But the traffic's gonna get more. I've never said a word about the golf course either way. But when they go to, you know, closing down the ramp, and that's what it'll eventually amount to, is they'll close the ramp and everybody be paying $8 just like they do at Sligo or everywhere else. They'll try to make it private, and I told some of them today, eventually they'll try to cut that road off and shut it off with a gate right there at the entrance, and won't let anybody go in there unless you got a tag on your car, or, you know, or pay your fee and go in. But I've lived on Billings Road for better part of 75 years. I've raised my kids there, and I've seen it grow, but I've seen a lot of traffic lately, you know, and it's getting worse all the time. And I put 3 traffic signs up, 30 miles an hour, about 25 years ago. I put them up myself when that first started back in there. And, you know, when I've talked to them about signs, they said, well, you know, if you get a stop, speed signs and everything, you know, said they want, the county can't, you know, furnish enough deputies to stay over there and watch it and, you know, do what they need to do to keep it going. But I'm like this fella that's up here a while ago, can't think of his name, but there's 3 marinas in rock throwing distance nearly, you know. Why would they want another right there that close to the others, you know? And I believe it, you know, it's a money thing, I think, you know, to put money in somebody else's pocket, not to help the community, not to help me or nobody else, you know. And that's just my way of thinking tonight. And I didn't write nothing down. I just thought I'd throw it out there. But it's not good to just not inform the public what's going on. And that's about all I got to say, and I thank y'all folks for your time.
State your name, address, or the district you reside. Minutes.
Thank you for allowing us to speak. My name is Diane Schifrin. I live in District 1. My address is Liberty. And I am not comfortable speaking in public, so my appearance here today speaks to the passion that I have to not allow SRM to operate in our county. I'm kind of flabbergasted that we're here again on this same issue. It was resolved once. We are the people, we have spoken. You all are elected by us. It is your responsibility to vote in your district how the people want. You work for us. So in reminding you some of the things that were said last time from my notes, this will, impair the ability of those around the quarry to sell their property. Someone stated exploitation of the county, protection against encroachment, protection of the air and water quality for generations to come. That one is very dear to my heart. At the time, companies coming in because there are no regulations in place. There are now regulations in place. SRM and the data center were the 2 issues that brought this to a head. The community spoke, you all agreed. The County Powers Act was passed. Why are we here again? Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name is Matthew Pitt. I reside in District 2. I would just like to agree with all those who are speaking out against the quarry. Y'all have already passed the legislation. I urge whoever's decision it is to make that y'all urge them to follow the laws that y'all passed. It's simple as that. I would also like to ask, has this commission or any previous commissions ever passed a recall ordinance for this county to follow the state recall elections? I'd like for y'all to discuss that tonight. If y'all have never passed that, I'd like for y'all to do that. That way the people don't have to wait every election to recall somebody. We can go ahead and do it anytime we'd like if they're not following the law. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Please state your name, address, or district you reside
My
in.
name's Lee Parker, District 5. And I want to know why you would take a boat ramp that is free to launch your boats at and make it private, where you have to pay to launch your boats. The Corps stated when they developed Riverwatch that there wouldn't be a marina at the end of the road there. There's a If they make it private, you know, they can close the road off. And we can't do a thing about it. When they put the Riverwatch in, they put gates on their guard shack to keep everybody out. Some way, everybody got together and got rid of those gates. My opinion is they're trying to do this again, to keep everybody out of Riverwatch. If they put a marina down there, there's supposed to be a parking space for every slip that they put in. They want to put 200 slips in. There's no room for 200 vehicles down there. No way you can do that. So I say leave our boat ramps alone. Yeah. Keep them free for us.
Paul Miranda, District 4. So I'm going to address another rush to judgment, and that's the proposed 2% property tax reduction, but only if you pay your property taxes for 2025 in full between October 1st and October 31st, a full 5 months before taxes are actually due. Per our trustee's office, the median property tax assessment bills in DeKalb County are between $1,500 and $2,000. Using the high-end assessment, you'd be saving a whopping $40 if you give the county your full property tax payment in October versus holding on to your hard-earned cash until the payment deadline at the end of February 2026. Historically, more than 50% of the DeKalb County property tax revenue already gets collected the following year's February. Historically, the goal is to collect 97% of all taxes due by the following May. However, this 2024 property tax season, and after the 51-cent property tax increased by this mayor and this commission, the trustee's office did not hit that mark until last month, a full 2 months longer than usual, meaning many more people were forced into property tax delinquencies and were penalized each month. 1.5% the first, 3% the second, 4.5% the third, 6% the fourth, and so on against the principal until it's fully paid. Since tax year 2022 to 2024, with the most recent 51-cent tax increase, my property taxes have gone up in that time frame 72%, along with all other DeKalb County taxpayers, excluding the limited groups that are able to use tax relief and the tax freeze programs. Since the 51-cent increase, more residents than ever in DeKalb County have needed to use a payment plan with the trustee's office to make smaller payments in order to pay their property tax debts. The only other time this 2% early payment reduction was ever offered was back in 2009, and that was at the request of the trustee's office. And that was following a trend that other counties in Tennessee were doing at that time. What was going on at that time? The worst financial crisis and housing market collapse since the Great Depression this country's ever seen. So why suddenly do it now, 1 month from when property tax bills are going to start going out? Is the county in another financial crisis we're unaware of? Apparently the mayor and this commission want your money earlier in order to be able to invest it sooner and are confident that they have the needed votes to pass it. How would they know that? And to invest in what exactly? Projects and property purchases the voters of DeKalb County have already told them we don't want? So we ask again, why the sudden need to fill the county coffers so much sooner with your tax dollars? The reality is the people that might be able to use this early payment discount are those already in financially stable positions to take on these taxes and increases. Those that are getting crushed by them need to hang on to every dime they possibly can for as long as they can, to wait as long as possible to try to find extra shifts at work, maybe work a second job, maybe be forced to sell something to get enough money to pay their property taxes and not become delinquent. But this rogue
Sir, your
mayor,
time is expired.
this rogue commission group definitely wants your money. I say thanks, but no thanks.
Anyone else? Seeing no one? Whoop. State your name, the address, or the district you reside in.
I'm Shelley Jennings. I reside in the 5th District in Riverwatch. First of all, I want to address the fact that no one in our HOA was notified of this proposed marina. I want to go back to the article that was published in WJLE that says, I have also had some unofficial discussions with the HOA Homeowners Association down there in Riverwatch in parentheses. Well, if unofficial means non-existent, then that's true, because we were not spoken to. I was going to say a lot of other things, but I don't feel that it's necessary at this time. But if we do go forward, or if you go forward with this, I will say those. But I want to talk to all of you from a mama's heart, from a teacher's heart. I have grown children that are on their own. And I really hope one day to have grandchildren that I will be able to walk up and down our road. If this marina happens, I would not feel safe. Where we are now, we have a lot of traffic in and out. I will be in the bed at 2 a.m. and I can hear people zipping by. And 2 a.m., think about it. I should see a boat behind a truck, or I should see some type of fishing equipment hanging out of a trunk. None of that is there. So you put 2 and 2 together. What is going on down there? No good. Also, that road is not wide enough to handle this. There would be a lot of things that would have to be done, and I don't think that is for our neighborhood. And I also want to talk about, on behalf of our community, we have had a lot of people that have saved their whole lives to live, to build, and retire in Riverwatch. They came there for the peaceful neighborhood and community that we live in now. And a marina would strip that away from us. I might could understand maybe the thought if we didn't have other marinas around, but look at Sligo. I pass every day and I see so many empty spots for the boats. Why do we need one? I think there's some other agenda going on. And I want us all to be transparent and be open and honest about anything that happens in our neighborhood. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing no one, move on then to approval of the agenda.
Got one more.
Oh. State your name, address, or the district you reside in. I'll give you 3 minutes.
Hi everyone, I'm Krista. I'm in District 2 off of Dry Creek. And speaking on the quarry, I want to echo what a lot of my neighbors have said and kind of summarize not just the quarry, but it sounds like what's happening with this marina and the data center. It feels like there's a lot of outside pressure on the county coming from various corporations that want to do things here. We all came together last year and said, let's have some ability for us to regulate these things. And now it feels like specifically the mayor doesn't want to enforce the County Powers Act with the quarries or the data center. I don't know what's going on with this marina, but that wouldn't be included. But it feels overall like outside money is more important to the mayor and maybe to some of you than the people of DeKalb County. And I think it's pretty clear the people of DeKalb County are not going to get money from these projects, and the people are struggling. And you know, I think it would be great if we could all come up with more proactive ideas of how we can generate money here in a way that's in line with our values, rural things like farming and, you know, even farm tourism if we need some tourism. You know, I think we, the people, need to do more work being proactive on that. But if the mayor and other people on the commission are just kind of green lighting businesses like SRM, where their application was insulting. I mean, their application was like, well, I guess we have to do this all, you know, like it's obvious that they think they're going to get approved. Like they already know they're getting approved. And all of that is just so insulting to the people who live near there, all those kids who go to school at the West School that are literally now going to be surrounded by dust clouds at all times. I mean, it just looks bad. It looks corrupt, and it looks bad, and it feels bad. So I hope y'all can step up and do something. Thank you.
State your name.
But I live on Hill Ridge Road. My name's Jeff Panetta. I live about 5,000 feet from the Smyrna ready mix operation. I happened to be outside the first day I heard anything about it, and I didn't know what happened. Honestly, I thought, hey, we've had an earthquake. You know, I thought, man, I mean, it shook me big time. And so I go inside, I get on my cell phone, I look to see if we'd had an earthquake. No earthquake. So I found out later what happened, you know. So just, I'm downwind, I would say. Our wind blows from the south, east, or west in our area. Most people that live here know that. I'm kind of southeast from the quarry, and hadn't seen any dust yet, but obviously it's coming. I've actually saw it in the valley. Anybody that travels through that valley have seen it of the morning, I'm sure. You know, and it just don't seem like anybody cares that don't live near the area. If you don't live there, apparently nobody else cares about their neighbors or their community. It really seems that way really bad. And the County Powers Act doesn't seem to be just pretty much ignored. I'm not no blasting specialist, don't know anything about it, but here's the way I look at it. That quarry from the Highway 70 to the back can't be over 150 or 200 feet. Can't be. That's an old quarry that was designed to provide rock for the state right there, for the beds of the roads, and I don't see how it's possible that you can blast right there on a regular basis and not have a safety issue in the highway. I guess the state's turned the nose to that, and that's okay too. But there's some people here. I know some people that actually have observed rock in the road from their initial blast. Actually, early in the morning when they blasted, when I was out in my yard, that blast, there was actually limestone in the road. Or at least that's what they told me. I didn't see it. But that's got to be a super dangerous issue. If you travel that highway, it's an issue. I know this has been discussed a little bit before, but I'm just sharing my feelings with it, and it seems like the people of DeKalb County, especially that live in this area, and among other things going on, they're just turning their back to it. We're kind of left in the dark. Thank you.
Anyone else? Not seeing none, we'll move on then. To approval of the agenda.
Mr. Moderator, I can make a motion that we amend the agenda to remove the resolution to adopt residential and commercial building codes for DeKalb County because we did that in March.
Okay, we got a motion. Do I hear a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Tom seconded. I did talk to the mayor. It was put in by mistake, and so we did pass this in March. Is there more discussion?
Yes. I'd like to move that we add to the list of new business a discussion of this SRM petition.
You want to?
Yeah, I want to hear that.
So I want to add a discussion of the SRM petition to this agenda.
I'll second that.
I'll second that one.
And I would like to amend that to add, didn't Jones Brothers also put in a petition, an application? I would like to add that too, to discuss SRM and Jones Brothers.
I'll second that.
Yeah. Or can you just put that on there and add it off?
Amend it. Take it, just take it out. Just take it off the agenda.
So we got a motion to amend the agenda that we add talks about the SRM and Jones Brothers Quarry. Any discussion? Who seconded that?
I did. I'd like to have a roll call vote on that. I think the public deserves it.
I think all we need to do is get it on the agenda. Then we can have a discussion and a vote. I think you'll like what I have to say, so. You know.
We'll just set the agenda then. All in favor? Any more discussion? Not all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, approval of the minutes. Anybody want to make a motion to approve them?
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Second.
Who made the motion?
Greg.
Sabrina, second.
Sabrina seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I'd like to back up. I'd like to also remove the marina off the agenda.
Second.
Motion to remove the marina from.
I'll second that.
I already seconded it.
Who?
Larry.
Larry seconded.
Get a little louder then.
I'm dead. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the financial reports. DeKalb County sales tax report last year was up. Net collection of $724,179.03.
Jeff? Did you ask for an approval of the minutes? Because that's on the agenda here before.
I thought it did.
Will you?
No. Greg?
I thought you asked for approval of the agenda.
I seconded. Greg made a motion to it.
Didn't we
Okay, so
vote
that's
on it?
what
And we-
Greg- Okay, never mind.
And last year's.
I'll make a motion to accept it. I'll second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
As a DeKalb County Register of Deeds, anybody want to make a motion to
I'll make a motion to approve the report.
approve it?
Second it.
Any discussion? All signify by saying aye.
Aye.
As budget amendments, Got two from the school board. Does anybody want to make a motion to combine them and vote on them as one?
I'll make a motion, we combine them and vote on them all as one.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Fund 101, $3,078. Anybody want to make a motion to approve that one?
I'll make a motion.
Tom made a motion.
Second.
On the Caldwell second.
Try not to crowd you out. No.
Committee reports. Anybody want to make a motion to acknowledge Jim?
I'll make the motion. Vote on that.
I'll second that.
Tom made a motion. Beth seconded.
Tom made the motion, I seconded.
Any discussion? Not all in favor, say, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, new business. The resolution to adopt the sales, or the property tax relief of, if you pay it October 1st, or from October 1st to October 31st, you get a 2% discount. From November 1st to November 30th, you get a 1% discount. Does anybody want to make a motion to approve that?
So I'll make the motion to approve it.
Greg,
I don't see a reason to stop anybody from a chance to save money. It ain't forcing people to pay nothing any sooner. It's just if they do, they get a little discount.
Greg Moe?
I'll second.
Larry seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I just have to comment. Yeah, it is hard to sit here as a county commissioner and hear people get up and accuse us of corruption. I find that extremely offensive. And in a situation like this where, to me, this is a innocent attempt to give people a little money back for paying their taxes early, and yet it seems that there are people in this county that can twist just about anything into something negative.
Amen.
So,
Y'all please button down. Sheriff, if anybody else makes some noise, just move them out. Is there anything else, Tom?
no.
Any more discussion? Mr. Clerk, would you please call roll?
Now, what's the motion and what are we voting on?
A motion that if you pay your land taxes from October 1st to October 31st, you get a 2% discount.
Just accept this resolution.
And from November 1st to November 30th, if you pay your taxes then, you get a 1% discount.
Okay, I know what we're doing now.
Okay. Mr. Clerk, if you call roll.
Tom Chandler,
Yes.
Tony Luna,
Yes.
Larry Green,
Yes.
Beth Pafford,
Yes.
Myron Rhodey,
Yes.
Greg Matthews,
Yes.
Tony Colwell,
Yes.
Sabrina Farler,
Yes.
Jeff Barnes,
Yes.
Daniel Cripps, Brandon Donnell,
Yes.
Glenn Merriman,
Yes.
Matthias Anderson,
Yes.
Andy Pack.
Yes.
14 yes.
Okay, I got two things in other business. One is the committee appointments. They're the same as they was last year, except for on Planning Commission. Alan Webb is getting replaced by Randy Caldwell.
Make a motion, we approve them.
Larry made a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Second by Greg. Any discussion? I need a voice vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? And the other thing is the surplus sale of the sheriff's department equipment. He just want a motion to sell it on gov deals or put it in the auction.
I make that motion.
I'll second.
Tony Luden made a motion.
Either or.
Either one, call Caldwell made the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, anybody else got any other business then?
Well, we added.
Yes, we added the petition from SRM and Jones Brothers.
Okay,
Before we
I'd
do
like to
that,
make my comments about that.
so you gonna make a motion to,
I'm going to, but
okay,
okay?
would we, before we get started on this, would it be appropriate now to have a resolution to let Mr. Curtis apply for non-match grants at his discretion? So he's not tied up for something that's not gonna cost the county anything?
sure.
In that vein, could we ask, Mr. Curtis said that he received an email asking him to hold off. Can he tell us who he got that from?
The DeKalb County historian. And Mr. Chairman, I received that text this morning from the county mayor to hold off on the particular one that's due tonight. That didn't say anything about the other two that are coming next month whatsoever. I
Were
just
you
need,
given a reason for that, other than that he's incapacitated?
there was no reason except in regard to budget being, because it's not in the budget itself. I can tell you as experience as 5 years the director of County Schools, that what you do with a budget amendment, as most of you well know, is budget amendments are done frequently throughout the year. If you apply for a grant, that doesn't mean you're going to get the grant. It just means that you are applying for it, and if you get it, then you make your budget amendment, and then it's a wash. It's total wash, meaning what comes in goes out. And so I was told directly to hold off, that we were just not hardly ready for that yet because the commission had not taken action. That's why I said I would be here tonight to have you to take action on that, on the capital grant, but not on the other one. But on we've got two more coming, and I'd like us to apply. If we don't apply, you don't get it.
Brady, do you still have time to apply for the one before tonight?
It's a great question. I appreciate that, Mr. Caldwell. The answer is I don't have, I need 3 years' budgets that this body has passed for the past 3 years, and I need a W-9 that I would submit for tonight, and I don't have either one of those at all. So that would probably answer your question. If I get that tonight, the answer, yes, Mr. Caldwell, is absolutely yes. I'd stay up till 11:59 to pop the deal.
And Mr. Curtis, you did ask for those, right?
I did.
Okay.
Is this the
And
one?
I was surprised this morning when I got that indication. I went Friday and looked at it, and they said, well, give us time. And I know the mayor is incapacitated. I've had an emergency appendectomy. I know what he's going through. But I also know that, you know, deadlines are deadlines, and I was told to wait till tonight, because you were meeting, and get your permission to apply for the grant.
But you indeed do have the last 3 years' budgets.
I do, in paper form. I do have that the county, I'm sorry, Jimmy, but the county clerk gave to me today 3 years in paper form that would have to be scanned. But I might can get that through.
And I told you today I offered to scan those for you today, and you.
That's correct. That's correct. And we were hoping to get that
and I can
via
still
WJLE.
I can still scan them after tonight. I don't have access to the W-9, but I'm very capable of scanning the last 3 years' budgets.
I would be very happy for you to do that, Jimmy, but I'll still need a W-9. I don't know where I'll get a W-9 for the county yet.
Where will we get that, W-9?
It'd have come from the county mayor's office.
So let me continue my comments. First of all, I'm sorry that you did not get what you needed to submit this request. As you well know, I opposed you taking half of the DeKalb room for a history room, but I fully support you pursuing these display cases that would go in the hallway down at the end of this complex. And I would support Matthias's proposal, second his motion, that we give you the approval to go and seek any of these grants that do not require a county match.
And I can answer that, Mr. Chairman, if I may. And that is, thank you, Mr. Chandler, and indeed, yes, none of these grants are matching. 0 are matching. And that's hard to believe, but from the state, this is the State Museum who's doing these grants. And one of them is, the next 2 coming that are due in September is called the Tennessee 250th. We ought to be celebrating the 250th anniversary of our country, and also as Tennessee being a part of that and DeKalb County to being a part of that. And so I would love to continue that, that discussion and work with the chamber in particular on doing some celebrations here in DeKalb County honoring the 250th anniversary of our country. As a former civics teacher, I'd love to do that and partner with them any way possible to get that grant. And we can do that through the chamber, so, but I don't want to misspeak there.
Well, if you're able to make a submission on the current grant and make a plea for some time on the W-9, then I would suggest that you go do that. And take Jimmy up on his offer to scan the budgets.
Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate that. I may not say it enough, but I appreciate what you do, guys and ladies, for what you do every day. And it'd be interesting in doing a history of the county commission, of the DeKalb County Commission. That would be an interesting history indeed in writing that. So, and my thesis, my master's thesis that I'll be defending next semester, not in the spring semester, is called "Divided: The Political History of DeKalb County." So I think it's a very poignant discussion of my master's thesis coming up.
Are you set up as a nonprofit already?
We are trying. The DeKalb County Historical Society is trying. But it takes months and months to do 501c3. We just reformed the organization, Mr. Luna, back in March.
Are these grants for a nonprofit? Is that
this grant is through the county itself, through a county entity. So you can do it through the county entity. That's how we're doing that. That's the only reason I'm behind you, Doug, because we're trying to set up as a 501c3, but that takes time and takes about 6 months for that to be fully done.
Okay, Matthias made a motion to allow the Historical Society, is the one going to be applying for the grants? Historical, the county itself.
I'll second.
Tom seconded. Everybody understand the motion?
And is that for the 3 grants he's talking about, or just the one?
Including the ones in September.
There's 2 grants in it in September.
2 in September.
Okay,
The 0 match from the county.
correct.
And I look forward to working with the chamber in doing that, for doing some programming here in DeKalb County, honoring the 250th of our country. Thank you, Mr.
I
Chairman.
got one more question, Frank.
Oh, yes, Mr. Cole.
Anybody you can call and tell them you can get that W-9 to them tomorrow?
I will try. I've got some connections at the state museum, and I will try my best to say that it was passed tonight at the 11th hour, if you will, and beg mercy on that to try to get that W-9. Now that you're informing the county mayor's office, I need the W-9 at 8 a.m. in the morning. Thank you, Mr. Cole.
So we'll vote on all 3 of them.
Okay.
Correct.
Mr. Clerk, you're going to call roll. Don't really, it's just a grant.
Tom Chandler,
Yes.
Tony Luna,
Yes.
Larry Green,
Yes.
Beth Pafford,
Yes.
Myron Rhodey,
Yes.
Greg Matthews,
Yes.
Andy Pack,
Yes.
Matthias Anderson,
Yes.
Glenn Merriman,
Yes.
Brandon Donnell,
Yes.
Daniel Cripps,
Yes.
Jeff Barnes,
Yes.
Sabrina Farler,
Yes.
and Tony Colwell.
Yes.
14 yes.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'd like to make my motion. And I move that this commission recommend to the mayor that he deny grandfathering in either SRM or the Jones Brothers on the basis that they do not meet the requirements set forth in the County Powers Act.
I'll second that.
You got a motion and a second? Any discussion?
Yes. I think the strongest point that SRM has is that it bought a quarry. It was a quarry. It was used by the state. I don't think there's any denying that there was a quarry on that property. However, that quarry was not in operation. But more importantly to me is I consider SRM to be a bad actor. I've looked at some of the stuff that they've said, which I believe to be that the benefits they thought they were going to bring to DeKalb County. I think they lied. I've looked at actions that have been taken against them in other locations where they've not only lied but failed to do what they were required to do by law. I just don't see them as a good partner for DeKalb County. And I think the Jones brother thing falls into the same situation. The powers, requirements that they be in operation.
What's he doing?
I think so. Anyone else?
Yeah. So, as someone who has been strongly against this County Powers Act since 2 years ago or whenever it was brought up the first time, the workshop prior to that Powers Act being passed, myself and quite a few others was under the impression that those three businesses was grandfathered in. Now, we didn't come to that conclusion just out of the whim of a hat. They had already filed the paperwork for the state. State is who regulated them. State is who they filed them for. They had no reason to file for DeKalb County. That after the moment it was passed, then this county commission, or a couple, wanted to try to go back on them and stop them from doing everything that they've done right up to that point. And we're upset that, you know, they're not keeping us in the loop. I mean, this county has hounded them for doing everything at that time that they were supposed to do. I understand these people not wanting them, and their commissioners, I applaud them for fighting for it not to be there. But once again, they had done everything they were supposed to do to the time we passed this, and now we're looking to go back and, you know, stop it, or stop them.
Well, one, I don't agree that this commission decided that any of those entities were going to be grandfathered in. We certainly had a discussion about that. And specifically in the case RM, I would point out that they illegally began operations without the proper licenses and requirements. And that in itself should have defaulted them from being considered as a good actor. So they were not doing what was required of them before they began operations on that location.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I totally agree. We don't always agree on everything, but I totally agree with you on that one.
Anyone else?
I was going to say, well said, and while I can appreciate the concern about getting into a lawsuit with a big business, we are here for the people. Big business they have their lawyers and their resources, and no, prior to some of them doing stuff, we didn't have any rules. But we've got rules in place now, and we did that for our people, for this county, and I fully support Tom's motion.
Mr. Moderator, Hilton, I'd like your advice on this too.
That's what I was just going to ask, that same question.
We met with a law firm in Nashville, GSMR or GS, something like that. They're familiar with our County Powers Act. They're familiar with what is going on in Grundy County. Would it be a good idea for us to employ them to give us a decision about what kind of a case we would have against SRM and Jones Brothers? And again, this means us spending money because it's going to cost us money to get an opinion from them.
We don't have time to do that. We're almost at the end of the 10 days they had for us to respond to their petition. It's unfortunate that Matt's had the operation that he has, but it's because it's the mayor's action. It's why I'm making this motion that we, as a commission, recommend to him that he deny it, and that he deny it immediately.
Well, it'd be up to him as to whether he accepts the committee's
And
recommendation.
I understand that. We've given him that through the County Powers Act. We gave him that power.
Sure did. Larry, I think you know the opinion that.
Yes.
You were there, and,
But I think they would have a little more insight into it from a legal standpoint than what we do as commissioners. I'm not talking about you.
well, that's why we went down and talked to them.
Right.
And, of course, their advice was for us to wait until the Supreme Court acted in the Tinsley case. That was their advice to us. And I always think we ought to take the advice of our attorneys,
But if we only had 10 days to respond to their requests, we don't have time to do that.
Is there a way we can extend the 10 days because of his health?
no.
Was the application filled out properly? Was there any holes in the application?
I didn't see any. And,
I guess my view on this is that I don't care about that. I have made a motion that we, as a commission, recommend to the mayor that he deny this grandfathering these entities, and we can face whatever legal circumstances arise in the future.
well, any vote on that sort of resolution is just advisory anyway, you know.
And I understand that, but currently, that's all we can do as a commission, and I think we ought to do that. And I would like to have a roll call of this to see who supports this and who doesn't.
That's right.
Any more discussion? Mr. Chairman, I need to restate the motion. Everybody, if you vote yes, you're voting to advise Matt to turn down the county or the permits, not grandfather them in.
That is correct.
That's correct. Mr. Clerk, would you please call roll?
Tony Colwell,
Yes.
Sabrina Farler,
Yes.
Jeff Barnes,
No.
Daniel Cripps,
Yes.
Brandon Donnell,
Yes.
Glenn Merriman,
Yes.
Matthias Anderson,
Yes.
Andy Pack,
No.
Greg Matthews,
No.
Myron Rhodey,
Yes.
Beth Pafford,
Yes.
Larry Green,
Yes.
Tony Luna,
Abstain.
Tom Chandler. Tom Chandler.
Yes.
10 yes.
Mr. Moderator,
Motion passes.
I'd like to make another motion now that we ask Hilton to take all of our information and send it down to GSMRA and get an opinion from them about where we should go now.
I'll second that.
I'm happy to do that, yeah.
Larry made a motion. Tony seconded. Any discussion?
Let me just say, I think you are going down a road, when you start passing resolutions, that's an attempt to direct the mayor to, I'm going to say, violate the County Powers Act. You voted and gave him the discretion to rule on these things. And to attempt to circumvent that, I think, is a slippery slope.
Hilton, in all due respect, I don't consider that my motion was a violation of the County Powers Act. I think everybody in this room probably is aware I was not in favor of the County Powers Act, but we have it. And I just simply do not consider SRM in particular to have been in abeyance of the requirements stated in the County Powers Act. They were not legally in operation when we passed our resolution. They had not completed all of the permit requirements that were necessary to even operate a quarry. And I think the individual that pointed out he was on a piece of property that used to be a store is a valid one in this case too, with the fact that there may have been a quarry there, but that quarry wasn't in operation. And so I don't think that this is asking Mac to turn this down is a violation of any standard on our part, and I don't consider denying it a violation of the County Powers Act. But I think at the moment, because we've given Matt the ability to do this, that we as a commission ought to make a statement to Matt to let him know how we feel to help him in making a decision.
Any more discussion?
I think that's just a coward's way out.
I made another motion.
He made another motion to have you send a.
Right. I just made a motion that because and we need to vote on it because it's gonna cost us money. We make a legal opinion, or get a legal opinion from them.
Would you restate that motion?
Make a motion that our county attorney forward all of our information to this law firm in Nashville. I think it's GSRM law firm, and ask them for an opinion about what we should do, how we should proceed.
Thank you. Look at about a second. Any more discussion? It involves
Tom Chandler,
Yes.
Tony Luna,
Yes.
Larry Green,
Yes.
Beth Pafford,
Yes.
Myra Nody,
No.
Greg Matthews,
Yes.
Andy Pack,
Yes.
Matthias Anderson,
Yes.
Glenn Merriman,
Yes.
Brandon Donnell,
Yes.
Daniel Cripps, Jeff Barnes,
yes.
Sabrina Farler,
Yes.
Tony Colwell.
Yes.
13 yes.
Motion passes. Anyone else got any more business? No, go to notaries. Janelle M. Donnelly, Laura Beth Hutchins, Autumn Duke, Sarah Nowak. They make a motion to approve them.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? They make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Glenn, Larry, second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.